Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts, and we're finally back, yes! A lot of computer issues, a trip to Florida, all kind of got in the way of making new videos, but we're back. And let's talk about what's going on in Detroit, Michigan, because of the old Detroit Motor Show. It's a big truck fest going on up there, including the brand new 2019 Chevrolet Silverado. Now, we showed off a little teaser of this vehicle last year, but now it's up there in Detroit in all of its glory. And the vehicle, coming from General Motors, has got a lot of trickery up its sleeve for this new edition model, including 450 pounds of weight, thanks to a lot of aluminum and a lot of other trickery that they actually have inside of the machine. It comes with a heavily revised 5.3-liter normally aspirated V8, along with a 6.2-liter heavily revised V8 as well. Both of these engines now get brand new dynamic fuel management systems, along with new cylinder deactivation. Both of these engines can deactivate anywhere from one cylinder all the way up to 7 cylinders. Yes, this vehicle can operate on just one cylinder. It does also come with a brand new inline 3-liter Duramax diesel option as well. The 6.2-liter V8 and the 3-liter diesel both come with the brand new 10-speed automatic transmission. The vehicle comes in several different trim packages, including Work Truck, which is the base model of this machine, Custom Trail Boss, the LT, the RST, the LTZ, the High Country, and the LT Trail Boss, which comes with the Z71 package along with 2 inches of lift. Another little trick up the sleeve of this vehicle, an all-aluminum electric tailgate. Yes, you can operate the tailgate up or down with just a flip of a switch. General Motors hasn't released official pricing or availability on this machine as of yet, but we'll definitely keep you in tune once we hear more about it. Next up on the list, crosstown rival, the folks over at Ram, showing off the brand new 2019 Ram pickup truck that will be on offer at your local FCA dealership very soon. Just like the Chevy folks, these guys have done a lot of work in the old gym, using a lot of aluminum parts as well, lopping off 225 pounds of weight from the outgoing model. Now, all the engines are actually carryovers, including the 3.5-liter Pentastar V6, along with the 5.7-liter Hemi V8, but they get a little trick up their sleeves. This means that both these engines will come with a 48-volt mild hybrid setup. Now, before you get all freaked out on me and think, oh, geez, they're making hybrid pickup trucks now, listen to what this 48-volt mild hybrid system does to the power of these two machines. Including the 3.5-liter Pentastar V6 gets a bump up of 90 pounds-feet of torque. And if you opt up for the Hemi V8 with the mild hybrid setup, that gets 130 pounds-feet of torque. Yes, that's power you can feel right at the old right foot. Now, the vehicle comes with a lot of other trick parts as well, including that Eco Diesel options that will come along that was in last year's model, that V6, but that won't be coming till the year of 2019. All of these engine options comes with that 8-speed ZF gearbox. Trim packages for this particular machine come in at Tradesman. You can bump up to the Bighorn, Laramie, Longhorn, Limited, or the Rebel trim, which is the actual trim that we're showing off in the photographs. It, too, also has an electrically opened tailgate, where you can flip a switch and that will electrically open the gate. And it has a warning light in case you leave your tailgate open to make you sure that you know that you need to shut that particular tailgate. No pricing, no availability, no power numbers, much like the Chevy situation, but we'll hopefully hear a whole lot more in the next several months. We've talked about Ram, we talked about Chevrolet, let's talk about Ford. Ford showing off a new mid-size machine, the brand new Ranger. Now, if you are like me and have traveled outside of the country of the United States, you may have seen the Ranger, which has actually been in existence since 2011. And basically, the new Ranger for the American market is a revised version of that particular machine. The vehicle comes in 2 different trims, that being a Super Club cab and the Super Crew cab, much like what the vehicle is shown here. The initial offering will have a 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder with a 10-speed automatic transmission and will be mainly showed off in the FX4 off-road package. Now, this vehicle isn't going into production until year's end, so we know pretty much nothing about this machine other than the stats I've already given you. I think this vehicle is actually a pretty good-looking truck, and we've seen how the Canyon and the Colorado have sold. I'm thinking this vehicle may have a bright future along with it. So we'll keep you in tune once we hear some production numbers, performance numbers, and, of course, the pricing. Next up on the list, a goodbye to a longtime friend, in fact, longtime racer, Scott Pruitt. Mr. Pruitt has been racing dang near as long as I've been alive. Not to make you feel really old, Scott. The 57-year-old fella from California has been racing since the 80s. In fact, he's raced near everything from NASCAR to kart, IndyCar racing, IMSA, Trans Am, which is where I got to know him, in that Rain X Camaro, where he was absolutely dominant, that big resurgence of Trans Am back in the day, and it was super fun back then. He also raced a little Grand Am as well, and was class winner at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In fact, just hours away from the 24 Hours of Daytona kicking off, and that will be Mr. Pruitt's swan song. This will be the last ever professional race that he will be done. We're not going to see the end of this particular fella. He's already done some commentary work for television. I'm assuming that's where he's going to go, and he'll do a fantastic job at that. I hate to see Scott Pruitt go. It's been a long time since I can remember just a sports car race that didn't have Scott Pruitt in it. Another fond farewell is to this man, Dan Gurney, a guy who, gosh, he was just such a sweetheart. If you ever got to see an interview with this guy, one of the most genuine guys on the planet. I have to say there's just a small amount of famous people, at least to me, that I would cross the street to go shake the hands. Dan Gurney was one of these guys. He was just a genuine fellow and did everything his way. He won in everything he did, and he challenged in everything he did, including owning race teams and everything from dirt classes of racing to Trans Am to IndyCar to NASCAR to Formula One. In fact, he not only won in those series as car owners, but he also won as a driver, including his biggest feat, which was the only American to ever win a Formula One race in a race car of his own design. That's something that we'll never ever see from no matter where you are on this planet. We'll never ever get to see that again. One of Dan's big accomplishments too was the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Road Rally way back in the day with legendary editor of Hot Rod Magazine, Car and Driver Magazine, and the lot, the late great Brock Yates. Him and Yates actually drove that race non-stop in a Ferrari, won it the first go-round of that particular going of that deal. This guy's a legend. He's an absolutely fantastic. He did things that tons of people will never know. Remember the gurney flap, if you've ever heard of that, the little wicker bill on the top of the wings, kind of revolutionized aerodynamics. Mr. Gurney was the actual person who did that and named after him. Just a fantastic fellow. It's a shame to see him die. Dan Gurney gone at the age of 86, and he will be sorely missed. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.